So this is a very different video from the ones I usually make, and that's because I don't have a script in front of me this time. That was supposed to be the original premise of this video, but I tried recording that 5 times, and every time I would start, my brain would go completely blank and all the words coming out of my mouth would scramble. So it looks like I'm back to writing, because it appears that's the only way which is comfortable for me to express my thoughts and feelings. And that's the topic of this video, my thoughts and feelings, especially the overwhelming presence of anxiety. I try to go without a script in the hopes that I'm going to come off more genuine, but that almost made me spiral, as I thought I lost my ability to think or speak. And that's because I find it weird talking freely to someone I cannot see. Look, I'm the textbook definition of an introvert. I talk to myself all the time with no issue. I find myself at a distance when it comes to social situations. When I actually get to interact with people, I'm more of a listener and I tend to bounce off the person I'm talking to. That being said, when I try just talking to a screen and there is no one there that can respond, I just end up losing my train of thought. It's literally the worst of both worlds. I cannot be as comfortable as I am talking to myself, and I cannot control the conversation like I would while actually talking to somebody. And I find this whole process ironic because it perfectly ties into the topic I wanted to discuss in the first place, and that is anxiety. In my pursuit of trying to build an audience and more importantly a community here on my YouTube channel, I decided that transparency should be my calling card. You know how some YouTubers fake or exaggerate their personality in order to attract people? Well, I decided to go the opposite route and get probably too comfortable sharing my feelings to a bunch of strangers on the internet. But when my goal is to create a safe place where people can do the same, I actually don't mind it one bit. That's why I decided to openly talk about what I've been dealing with lately, which is a lot of anxiety. Therapy is also pretty expensive, so I'm also treating this as a therapy session for myself so I don't go insane. Anyway, as I said, I find it hilarious and also ironic that anxiety was the reason for making this video, but it's also the thing that completely changed my approach to it, as it didn't let me speak freely without compressing my thoughts inside of a script. Now don't get me wrong, I am not censoring myself at all or keeping things more edited rather than genuine. I'm still expressing all my raw feelings as I would have did just talking, but I don't know why I find it much easier to write things down. Maybe it's autism or something, please let me know if you know the answer. Besides trying to go for a more genuine approach, another argument for not wanting to use a script is to save time. Look, writing a script and recording it adds a completely new layer to the whole process of content creation, adding to the duration of the process but also to the quality in my opinion. And that's also a big talking point at the core of my anxiety lately. I am a baby at this YouTube thing and I'm merely starting. This video is my 10th video that I've uploaded, and that is exciting for me because before I made the channel, I thought that 12 videos a year would probably be the likeliest scenario to occur, as I have a full-time job and there is also a lot of life stuff happening. So it would be very difficult to keep a consistent upload schedule. Therefore, I am proud of myself that I managed to do 10 videos in not even 2 months. I mean, the first 4 that I dropped were made beforehand to act like the foundation of the channel, but still, it's 6 videos in not even 2 months. It's still something. That being said, I still find it hard to maintain a consistency regarding my uploads. I might have an idea for a big video like I did with the Tomb Raider trilogy, and that takes a lot longer than just watching Castlevania and talking about it. And in my pursuit of prioritizing quality over quantity and experimenting constantly, I get overwhelmed by a lot of anxiety. 2 weeks might pass without an upload whilst I'm working on something big, and I don't have the time to squeeze something in before I release the big one. And this for sure stunts the growth of a new YouTube channel because consistency is key, and most importantly at the beginning. And although I understand this fact, I cannot bring myself to lower the quality of the videos that take time to make and prioritize pumping out half-assed shit that I'm not proud of for the sake of relevancy. As I said, my priority is to build a community and safe space for said community, and I can achieve that by providing content that represents who I am as a person. But at the same time, I need to bring in people to achieve that. Therefore, you can see where a lot of my anxiety comes from, as these two priorities clash with each other constantly. Adding to this vicious cycle, in order to manage my workflow and keep a consistent upload schedule, I consciously overwork myself, adding even more anxiety to the mix. Content creation unfortunately requires a lot of resources, especially if you want to maintain a certain level of quality like I do, and as I've mentioned, I do have a full-time job that puts food on the table, but also feeds into these limited resources I already possess. So when I finish work for the day, I have a break by going to the gym, and then I go back to work doing YouTube. Therefore, you might imagine how this schedule might be a cause for a persistent feeling of anxiety that surrounds me. The only thing that helps me out so I don't burn out from overworking myself is the passion that drives me. I truly love the entire process of content creation, from writing the script to editing, and this makes the grind bearable. Seeing the final product and analyzing on what could be improved only pushes me to do more and strive to achieve the success that would allow me to do this full time. I would love to do this for a living, because not only do I love doing it for free, but I love doing it whilst negatively impacting my health and well-being. Okay, I'm half sarcastic and half sincere with this comment. I don't feel like I'm editing myself into the grave at the moment, but this process of overworking myself for sure is affecting my sleep, my work-life balance, and that translates into this constant level of anxiety that I keep mentioning. As I mentioned, in order to grow your channel, you need to be consistent, and to achieve this consistency with a very limited number of hours, you might need to sacrifice that life aspect in the work-life balance I referenced. And yeah, I don't know who feels good about missing out on life, but I also don't know who feels good missing out on their dreams. At this point, you might see a pattern of conflicting resolutions that feed my anxiety, and due to this complicated nature of contrasting necessities, it might get very foggy and disorienting from time to time, as the way out of this vicious cycle becomes harder to find. Keeping the thematic going and adding more fuel to the fire, the final aspect that keeps me awake at night is the response to all of this hard work. You know, it's hard achieving consistency, and it's even harder to maintain it when you're too spread thin and don't have the proper resources. Well, everything gets even harder when the algorithm isn't on your side. I kept this aspect for last because it's the most contradicting one out of them all. On one hand, you don't have to worry about it because at the end of the day, it's just luck if your videos get recommended to other people. On the other hand, it might get a little disheartening if all your hard work gets unnoticed because of just luck. We live and die by YouTube's algorithm. It's what makes us and what breaks us. We try not to be a slave to it, but we truly depend on it. Therefore, being something that we have no control over, we might be completely indifferent to it, but also obsess over it at the same time. And I tend to be a part of both of these categories, hence my anxiety. As I've mentioned, I put a lot of effort into creating these videos. Well, not this one in particular, as I've just recorded myself over some Borderlands gameplay, but hey, I still wrote a script for it because I'm too self-conscious to talk freely into a mic. Anyway, so as I overwork myself in order to put these videos out, I get a minor heartbreak every time the algorithm is not on my side. Everyone wants to be appreciated and rewarded for their work. That being said, I do get rewarded for my work by the work itself, as I've previously mentioned. The love and passion I possess for making these videos make the process worth it because I am able to see myself evolve in real time. Creating something from nothing is truly an amazing feeling, and every time I see the final product, I become so proud of myself that everything makes sense again. I strive for consistency, but I am not a very consistent practitioner when it comes to self-love. Matter of fact, I am pretty bad at it. I would describe it as a work in progress, but I guess that's a deep rabbit hole for another day. What I'm trying to say is that creating these videos truly helped me on that department. The dopamine level that I get after seeing what I was able to create by myself is priceless, and it balances out the sad reality when it eventually doesn't get the attention I think it deserves. Therefore, every time I finish a video, I throw myself into the next one so I don't have to process the reception and think about the algorithm and just feel the fulfillment of the process itself. It's a bittersweet feeling at the core of my anxiety because again, it's something I cannot control, and it can get sour when I hear the grasshoppers, and also sweet when I can interact with you guys, because that's actually the best part of it all. I get sad when the algorithm doesn't work out in my favor because I miss out on all of your comments and overall reaction. I love creating content for myself, but seeing other people enjoy it as well, oh boy, that's the cherry on top. That's one part of this YouTube journey that doesn't make me anxious one bit. I don't care about the dislikes, I don't care about the negative comments. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and if anyone has strong feelings about something, it would be preferred that they share them. I love seeing different perspectives and discussing them in the comments, and that's because that's what it's all about when creating a community. And as I've stated at the beginning of this rant, that is my goal. Because guess what? Community is a big help when it comes to anxiety. Look, I've dealt with anxiety long before I've started this YouTube journey, and it got really bad at times. What helped me get through those tough times were people, and I want to create that safe environment for people, where they can be themselves, take a breather, and realize that maybe everything is going to be okay. Hell, I want to create that environment for me as well. I ranted about how anxious this whole process of making videos makes me feel, from balancing consistency to overworking myself and the unreliable nature of the algorithm. I go through all of the anxiety created by this process to eventually get to a place where me and hopefully other people can manage it together, whilst also talking about video games and other shit. Not everything has to be too deep. With time, I might change to healthier approaches than this one as I work on balancing myself, because I cannot reach that goal if I burn myself out in the process. The objective is what makes me push through it all and also makes everything worth it. You make everything worth it. P.S. I'm not sorry if you consider this video too much information. I told you I'm trying to make this a safe place, so everyone is welcomed here to share their feelings as much as they want. I just set the tone by ranting about my anxiety. Plus, I don't have the resources to go to therapy for now, so making this video was the next best thing that I could do for my mental health. If you've stuck with me this far, you can check out my other videos, because I think there should be something there that might interest you, and also know that your presence has been priceless. I hope I will see you in the next video, and until then, please take care of yourself. Bye bye.